research methods and design. In the last lecture, we talked about different concepts, different notions about research methods and design. Just to recap, we talked about quantitative research, qualitative research. These two words will be repeatedly used in this course, and we need to really understand the meaning of quantitative and qualitative research. We said quantitative, we deal with numbers. Qualitative, we deal with data, explanation of data, justification, etc. And we stopped we stopped last lecture at the classical report of research. How do we report our research? How do we represent our research? There is a template or format or technique for reporting research, and we should stick to that way of presenting research. We said this is one way of reporting research. We start with abstract, introduction, literature review, methods, data analysis, results, discussion, conclusion, bibliography, appendices, and I referred you to this link, and you can get some idea about these items, because I'm going to devote a lecture for each item of these way of presenting or reporting research. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items or 10 topics or 10 pieces of structures, one way of, or this is the traditional way of presenting research. And this can be presented as a chapter in your research, or as a section. It depends. Are we talking about dissertations and theses, or are we talking about articles? There is a difference, really. After you do your master degree, your MA degree, or your PhD degree, you do a dissertation, or sometimes called a thesis. Some people differentiate between the two words. Dissertation for masters, because dissertations normally and by standards very short, so it's called a dissertation. A thesis is used for PhD. When you do your doctorate degree, you do a thesis. A thesis is named a thesis because it is fairly long. So there is a difference between a dissertation, thesis, and an article. Articles, usually we find them in journals. We find them sometimes online. They are very short, not lengthy, very specific, and you would see it consists of the same items here. It starts with abstracts, introduction, literature review, but they are very concise, very short. So are we talking about articles? If we are talking about articles, these are going to be sections inside the article. But if we are talking about dissertations and theses, these are going to be chapters inside the dissertation. So chapter number 1, introduction. Chapter number 2, literature review. Chapter number 3, methods. Chapter number 4, data analysis. Sometimes they are mixed with results in one chapter, but sometimes they are separate. So chapter number 5, results and discussion. Sometimes they are also mixed. So these three chapters, can be one chapter. It depends on the length of each section. If the data analysis is very long, put it in one chapter. If it is just very short, one or two, it does not have to be in one chapter. You can merge it with results, and also the same with discussion. And then we have a chapter from conclusion, and then we have a bibliography or references, the list of books and articles you refer to while you are doing your research. And then we have appendices, anything that you want to append to the end of your research to support your research. So let's take them step by step and one by one. If you notice that I did not mention abstract as one chapter. Why? Because abstract is only sometimes one page or less than one page. So we cannot have chapter 1 abstract. No, abstract is something different. Although each article and each piece of research, be it dissertations or thesis, it has to have an abstract at the beginning of that research or that article. Although we put abstract at or in the beginning of our research, it is not written until the very end of our research. Why? Because an abstract is like a summary. It's not a summary, but it's like a summary of your research. And we are going to talk about its component next lecture. We are going to define an abstract and then the component of a good abstract. This is very important. If you graduate from this course, if you pass this course and you know how to write a very good abstract, this is a good achievement to you. And hopefully you will be a good achiever by knowing how to write a very good piece of research. So let me go back to this very important issue, that although we put abstract in the beginning of our research, it's not going to be written until the very end of your research. Why? Because in abstract, like we are going to see next lecture, that it consists of our results. So you will not be able to write your results or your summary of results in the abstract until you finish the results of your research. So abstract is ideally, and to me, must be written at the very end of your research. So this is abstract. Abstract, it is a summary of your research. If I read your abstract, I know what you did. I know your results. I know the most important information about your research. I don't need to read your whole thesis or your whole article. From an abstract, you can know what's this research about and what involved and its results. And this is why most researchers and scholars in conferences, they ask for your abstract. And then when they read your abstract, they accept you to come to the conference to talk about your research. We will talk about abstracts in details. I don't want to dive in this topic earlier than its time. So this is abstract. It's a summary of your research. And then we have introduction. In the introduction, you can have it, as I said, as a chapter in your dissertation or in your thesis, or if you are writing an article or a term paper. A term paper, is less or shorter than an article. Sometimes, if you go abroad or to different universities around the world, and sometimes in Saudi Arabia now, it's it's increasing these days, that you have something called term paper. After the end of your course, your tutor, your instructor asks you to present or to submit a term paper consisting of 1,000 words, 1,000 and a half, 2,000, sometimes 3,000 words. If it exceeds 2,000 or 3,000, it becomes an article. Maybe we will talk about these differences between articles, term papers, and dissertation later if we have time. But this is not the objective of this course. The objective of this course is to teach you how to design and report a research. So again, it depends on your research. Is it term paper? Is it an article, a dissertation, a thesis? So we have maybe 4 categories. Term paper, very short. An article, bigger than a term paper. Or sometimes this term paper is called an assignment. So we have an assignment, article, bigger than assignment, and then dissertation, a whole well-defined and written research, and then we have the biggest, which is a thesis. So depending on that, we are going to specify the introduction. If it is only an assignment, you want to introduce your assignment in a few lines, 5 or 6 lines. If it is an article, no, you need maybe 1 page. A dissertation, no, you need maybe 5, 6 pages. In a thesis, no, you need maybe 10 or 12 or 20 pages, depending on your topic. You want to introduce it very well. You want to show the reader that, yes, you know very much, you know everything about your topic. So in the introduction, you introduce the problem, you introduce the topic of your research, its significance to you, to the society, to other people around the world, the objective of your research. All of these will be talked about when we come to the lecture talking about introduction. So this is introduction in brief. Then we go to the second or chapter or section, depending on your purpose of research. We have something called literature review. This is very important, literature review. Literature review is like you go and read everything about your topic, any similar research about your topic. Let's say that I want to do a research about the effectiveness of using computers to teach English grammar. So it's very sure this is not the first time this is research. Sure, other researchers, other people, other students have researched the same topic. So I need to go to reach as many as possible of these research. I need to collect them, read them, and then report them in the literature review in my own way, because we are going to talk about a very critical issue in writing a piece of research, which is called plagiarism. Don't be sensitive about this, but mostly what I see here in Saudi Arabia, that people, when they want to do a piece of research, they either go to Google and steal from it. Sorry for this word, but yes, people steal from Google, or they ask other people to do the research on their behalf. And this is called plagiarism. Plagiarism is stealing some people's ideas. If you just copy and paste their own words or their own ideas into your research, this is called plagiarism. So be careful. In literature review, and we will talk about this in details. When you write literature review, avoid plagiarism, and we are going to see some instances about plagiarism, and hopefully you will avoid plagiarism. So in literature review, I go and talk, and read about my topic, the previous studies similar to my study, if I'm doing a study, as I said, just to measure how effective to use computer to teach people English grammar. So I need to read everything about my topic and then report it in my own words. Do not copy and paste. No, just write in your own words. Then we move to methods. Methods, you are going to talk about how are you going to do your research. You need to specify the tools to do your research. Back to our example, I want to measure the effectiveness of using computers to teach English grammar. What I need? I need subjects, I need people, students, I need labs, computers, I need a software that I am going to use to teach students. I need sometimes to interview the students after I teach them. Maybe I need questionnaires. So you see, you need different things to approach your problem to reach a result or a conclusion. So these are called the methods, and we will talk about methods later. Data analysis. After you gather all your data, you need to analyze your data. How we have different ways and different techniques to show our results, or to analyze our data for results. And then after we finish analyzing the data, what do we have? We have results. We have maybe numerous results. And if you have numerous results, you need to select the important results. But if you have very few results, then you can report them all, and then you present them in a very interesting way. Let's say that you found that using computers to teach English grammar very effective, very interesting, and the students were very excited about it, but your way to report that result wasn't in a good way. Let's say that, well, you say, for example, yes, I found that students liked the computers and benefited a lot from using computers. Well, this is not the way. You have different ways. You can show them through numbers, through graphs, through pictures, through reporting more about the students' responses to your study. And then you need to discuss your results. It's not very beneficial to your readers to just report your results. You need to show their importance. You need to discuss these results with the previous results. Let's say that you found that all people around the world, when they used computers to teach English grammar, they found it very interesting. But in your situation, your students did not like the computer thing. Do not hide this. Do not be shy. Be brave. Be bold enough to say, no, I found something different. So you need to discuss your results, whether it is agreeing with the previous, whether it is agreeing with the previous studies in literature review, or it is disagreeing, and we will talk about this later. Conclusion: if it is a very lengthy research, we need a conclusion from that. You give us the conclusion and a summary about your research to remind us about what you have done through your research. And then bibliography, you give us the list of books and articles, and we have a special way to present bibliography. We talked about APA style, and this is closely related to writing the bibliography and references. Appendices, let's say that you have copies of questionnaires, interviews that you used in your research. You can append them to the end of your research, pictures, graphs, extra information useful to your research and the readers. You can append them to your research. This is the structure. Next class or next lecture, we are going to talk about each one in specific and in details to know how to write each of these items. Hopefully you liked today's lecture. Maybe you know me that I always start with very little information, so just to encourage you to study the course, and then we are going to dive in. Not too much information, I promise you. I hope next class you will follow with me by visiting this link, just to warm you up for what I am going to say. Thank you for attending, watching, or listening this lecture. See you next class. Sorry. Thank you very much.